What's up, everybody? Nate K here, supergeekfit.com, here to talk a little bit about cravings. Weird, huh? Everybody gets them, and they don't always make the most sense. But listening to your body's cravings can tell you a little bit about what's going on in the systems that you can't really see or hear. So, without any further ado, let's talk about some weird cravings, shall we? Craving number one, raw fish. If you think back and really get honest about it, back in the day in America and in most places, raw fish was kind of a gross idea. A little bit of a tabletop taboo, if I might say. But nowadays, everybody's more than willing to drop a whole load of cash at the sushi bar. Why is that? Suddenly, it's much cooler to eat sushi, and we do crave it like crazy. So what's the deal with our cravings for sushi? Well, number one, sushi is a fantastic source of omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are very, very useful in the body for not only maintaining healthy nerve sheaths and helping the nervous system regrow, which is why they call it brain food, but omega-3 fatty acids are also really good with handling inflammation levels within the body. If your body can manage inflammation, you have a much lower chance of cancer, heart disease, atherosclerosis, a lot of different chronic diseases out there, most of which are caused by inflammation. So a little bit of extra omega-3s in the body can really help up your superpowered abilities to heal and keep the doctor away. And the other thing about sushi is that fish don't have to deal with gravity. They just float around. And so their soft, tender muscles give us that really great mouthfeel that most of our comfort foods tend to have. Ever have a craving for chicken and dumplings or grandma's warm biscuits right out of the oven? They're warm, they're soft, they're squishy, and they are just delicious. One of the reasons why we like sushi so much is because of its soft, squishy mouthfeel. But let us not forget that sushi is super cool, and everybody likes to eat what is cool. It didn't used to be such a cultural trend, but now everybody likes sushi because it's cool. It's almost like we're socio-culturally programmed to like cool stuff. Weird, huh? Strange food craving number two, raw oysters. Yeah, I know, they're kind of snotty, right? But for whatever reason, lots of us tend to crave raw oysters. Why is that? Well, back in the day and for hundreds of years, people have always thought that raw oysters were an aphrodisiac. You know what I mean. It used to be thought that it was because of their high magnesium content. But as it turns out, in 2005, a chemistry professor in Florida named Dr. George Fisher discovered that raw oysters contain an extremely high amount of a couple of amino acids that you don't normally see in everyday life. As it turns out, those two amino acids can increase the production of testosterone in males and progesterone in females. So, bringing up the sexy hormones a little bit. So as it turns out, raw oysters do have some significant possibility as a real-life aphrodisiac. Not to mention the fact that they're kind of cool, especially with a little Tabasco sauce. Our next strange food craving is red chilies. Have you ever had a hankering for the spicy heat of a red chili? A lot of us are real hotheads. I think we've all got some friends that can slap hot sauce on just about anything and take it down. But there's a lot of really good physiological reasons for our love with hot spice. You see, the chemicals in hot chilies that give them their special spice are actually called capsaicins. Capsaicin releases an inflammatory and pain response when it hits the mucous membranes of the mouth, nose, and throat. That pain response hits the brain and causes an instantaneous release of feel-good chemicals, or endorphins, that floods our nervous system and tells us everything's going to be all right. So, just by adding some red-hot chilies to your next bite, you can automatically induce a release of endorphins in your brain, or the feel-good chemicals. So the next time you see one of your hothead friends downing a bottle of hot sauce on their whatever it is for lunch, think about the endorphins they're probably enjoying as a side effect. Our next strange craving is pickles. That's right, everybody makes the old jokes about pregnant girls wanting to eat pickles and ice cream or pickles and peanut butter, weird stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is pickles are extremely good for you. Not only are pickles a vegetable and are full of a host of different vitamins and minerals, but they're also very good for your gut flora. There's reason to believe that vinegar has a significant positive health effect on not only the gut, but also on weight loss and as a bit of an anti-neurotic aid. However, the mechanism behind these things isn't entirely clear. The vinegar contained in pickles can also tend to help soothe digestion. And, as an added bonus, pickles are pretty hefty in salt. A lot of us have too much salt in our diets, but if you're not one of those people and you're a little low on the salt, salt can be a big part of the reason why you're craving the tasty crunch of a pickle. Our next strange craving is the combination of salty sweet snacks. What is the deal with trail mix and other salty sweet snacks? Salted caramel? A couple years ago, that wasn't even a thing, I don't think. Now you can get lattes out of it. So what's the deal with the salty sweet? Well, Sweet is a fantastic taste bud tingler. And salt is actually a nutrient, as I mentioned before. So our taste buds are hardwired to crave salt. So if you got the tasty zip of some salt and you've got the wonderful sugary taste of sugar and you put those two together, whoo, that's a 1-2 punch for your mouth. And every neuron in your brain is going to light up with that feel-good reward of the salty-sweet combination and tell you, great job, buddy, keep snacking. Our next strange craving is peanut butter, which is actually one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. What's with the craving and the love affair for peanut butter? Well, here's another one with an awesome salty sweet kick. It's got the salt of the salted peanuts and it's got a nice helping of sugar in it. Delicious, especially with a little bit of jelly. But the other great thing about peanut butter is that it has a tremendous amount of protein and amino acids, which are key ingredients for muscle building and recovery, especially if you're working out or exercising. The other added bonus that peanut butter carries with it is it's got a very hefty amount of fat. Now, if you're having trouble losing weight, you don't want to hit the peanut butter too hard. But the bonus of having that fat in your system is that increases satiety, or the feeling of fullness. So if you're feeling snacky and you have a little bit of peanut butter, it can hold you off for a lot longer than maybe a light carby treat. Burnt food is our next one. What's the deal with people that want to eat burnt food? My mom always ate all the burnt stuff. I thought at first that she was being just really selfless, but come to find out, she actually really liked all the burnt stuff. So what's with the love for burnt food? Well, as it turns out, there's a chemical reaction that occurs when you burn food. It's called the Maillard reaction, and it changes a lot of the flavors of a lot of our favorite foods. The Maillard reaction occurs when you dry cook something at a high temperature, burning obviously, and it creates a crescendo of very strong, very rich flavors like savory, umami, and bitter. And a lot of people's taste profiles are extremely attracted to those flavors. So burnt food is actually kind of a culinary masterpiece, if you want to go there, which means that I am quite the cook. Carbs. Why does everybody crave carbs? Well, the answer to this one's extremely simple. Carbs are a simple sugar, and they're the easiest way to get your blood sugar up. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling hungry, the fastest way for your brain to tell you that everything is okay is to drown yourself in a couple of carbs. The problem is, most of us have too many carbs that are available at a moment's notice. So most of us have a tendency to snack on carbs a little bit too much. Our next craving are things like pho and ramen. Pho, spelled P-H-O, it's not pronounced pho, is a delicious Vietnamese soup, similar to ramen, but different in a lot of ways. So why would we crave both of these? Not only do both have a lovely, salty, savory flavor profile, but they're also pretty hearty soups with a lot of vegetable, a lot of meat, and a lot of salt in them, as well as a significant dollop of fat. They're very filling, they're warm, and most of the things in the soups are cooked down to the point where they have a nice, soft mouthfeel. So they mimic a lot of our old grandma-style traditional foods that we find such great comfort in. Pho and ramen have a completely unique style and attitude when it comes to the soup game, and most people find that extremely enticing. Our last strange craving on the list is ice. You want to be careful with chewing ice because apparently it's not very good for tooth enamel. Apparently it can cause minor cracks in your tooth enamel. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I was told by a dentist, so I'm inclined to believe it. A lot of us have a tendency to chew ice whether we're bored or stressed, maybe our drink is empty and we're aggravated with the bartender, or it can also be quite helpful if you're feeling a little bit nauseous. But chewing on ice all of the time could be an indicator of a condition such as pica, where a person would crave things that aren't necessarily food, like sponges, or it could be a warning of something such as iron deficiency anemia. So if you're a crazy ice craver, you might want to check with your physician and see if maybe something a little bit more nefarious isn't going on. But I want to hear from you. What are some of your strange cravings? If you have a craving or a friend that has an interesting craving, and if it was meaningful and it led to the diagnosis of something weird, put it in the comments down below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe to our YouTube, and be sure to check us out on supergeekfit.com. I'm Nate K at supergeekfit.com, and we'll catch you guys later.